Morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are at. Super excited again. What we talked about the last week, right? The do and the don'ts, right? The top, the top do's and then top don'ts that you have. One of them is, do take, be proactive, right? Do take initiative. And I just love that Jack is putting in so much effort to make this energy so much better with everyone, right? What is emotion, right? Emotion equals to motion. If you're like, oh man, I feel a little bit sleepy, right? I'm feeling like I have a bad mood, right? Very easy. You just really have to just do this. Just pump yourself up, right? Just keep pumping, keep pumping, keep pumping. Or, drink a cup of water. Or, the most important thing is, take a break, right? Take a break so that way you can feel better, right? So that you can go back to work. This is the reason why, we always suggest you guys to have a break in between your shift, because when you have a break in between your shift, what would that happen? What's happened to you? That means you're gonna get more energized and have more energy. A lot of time, when people quote unquote say, "Man, boss, I feel like I'm burnt out," right? I don't think this is for me anymore, or I don't know, I'm just, not feeling good, because ultimately, this is a marathon, right? You need to have self-care for yourself. Okay, what does self-care really mean? Self-care means that you need to take some time, for you. Again, drinking coffee, again, it might be great, but the truth is, you also need to do something outside of coffee, right? Again, walking, right? Pumping yourself up. I myself get a treadmill right now. It's a walking treadmill. You can put it underneath your table, right? And you can walk like 500 steps or 5,000 steps, however you want, right? Or you can get kind of like a trampoline, yeah, trampoline, right? And you can just, jumping up and down. That actually will really, really be helpful, right? Besides losing weight, right? Getting yourself healthier and get your energy up too. And we wanted to go back to, last week, right? We talked about the do and don'ts, right? We talk a lot about the do and don'ts, and thanks to Jack and Grace, they come out with the top 10 do's and the top 10 don'ts. Okay, so this is the top 5, and then this is the next top 10. All right, so they are in the chat for you right now, and we're actually working on a document, and a really nice document for you in a little bit, so that we can get you to share with yourself. I would love you to share it in your community, right? Your Facebook post, so that way all the virtual assistant know what is the must do, right? What is the common do for you, right? So let's go over that real quick. So do, right? Do the best of what you have, right? This entry emphasizes the importance of maximizing the resources and skills at one's disposal. I mean, to me, when you wanted to do something, do your best, right? If you don't want to do it, then don't. It's kind of like a waste if you don't do your best, because aren't you curious on how far you can go, right? Aren't you curious on one day, how far you can get with your clients? Because ultimately the norm, right, in this society with the virtual assistant is they're just a robot. They're just an assistant. I can fire them anytime I want, right? But what if you do your best every single day and see how far you can go, right? And on top of that, you are the one that is irreplaceable. Trust me, there's a lot of VAs right now in the community that are irreplaceable, and it's just like, oh my God, this is amazing, right? And I want all of you guys to be here. That is our mission here. We want you to be an irreplaceable virtual assistant for your clients, right? So the second one, do extra miles if needed. I think it's always do extra miles, whether it's needed or not, right? Maybe we need to delete that towards the value of going above and beyond from the basic requirement to achieve excellence. Again, I think Jack obviously have represented that, right? Exercise showing you what that means. Because did I ask him, hey, Jack, I need you to pump it up even more. I need you to go extra mile even more. No, he doesn't. But he's like, man, how far can I go, right? Maybe I can try this thing out and see where this is at, have some fun, right? Play with it. And that's what it is. And to me, it's like, wow, I bet to all of you guys, it's like, wow, this is really cool. And then how amazing would that be if you can do that for yourself too, right? Number 3, do save and invest. Encourage prudent financial management and investment for future security. I totally agree. One of the big myth or culture that what I learned is Filipino doesn't save money. Filipino is only one paycheck away from bankruptcy, or some Filipino, it's only 1 hour away from going crazy. We have VAs, it's like, boss, you are late 5 minutes, 5 minutes. You're late 5 minutes. I need that money. I need to pay bills. And I was like, dude, like, save some money, dude. Like, you should, again, your goal is obviously, I know before you get into a job, maybe you have some debt, right? But after you get your job, maybe save 10%, right? And then 20%, right? And eventually you'll be, oh, I have a one paycheck before I get into bankruptcy, like two paycheck, three paycheck, four paycheck, right? Because imagine, right, your stress level is going to go all the way down, right? If you do that, right? You want you to save money first, right? Because you're like, how am I going to invest if I can't save? However, if you really like to spend money, then find an investment is actually really amazing because it serves as a spending of the money anyway. So you might want to do that too. Okay, you might want to do that too. But again, please do save money. And trust me, I'm not just speaking to you, I'm speaking to myself too. Sometimes I was like, oh man, I bought too much stuff. My house right now have a lot of stuff. And I was like, dang, but I do like to buy, right? So again, there's two ways of doing it, okay? You don't necessarily have to save if you can make more money, right? I like to spend money. So my thought is, how can I make more so that I can spend more, right? Or how can you, if you are not making more, right? How can you save money so that you can have, security for yourself and your future and your children, right? Number 4, do practice integrity in everything you do. Stresses a significance of maintaining honesty and strong moral principle. I really love this quote, right? I want everybody to write it down, right? Treat other people how you want to be treated. I personally really do believe in karma, right? I always want to treat other people how I want to be treated. Wouldn't that be bad, if one day you lost, maybe like your purse, right? And somebody just took it away, right? Every time I saw a purse that somebody left or a cell phone or something, right? I always give it back to somebody else because what if their last resort of a money? What if this money is for their children, right? What if whatever that is, right? And if I am losing that money, would I want somebody to give it back to me? Yes, right? So treat other people how you want to be treated, right? And sometimes I do have to say, one of the biggest, I think, Asian culture is we don't want to let people down, at that moment, right? So what we'll do is we'll say, yes, boss, I'll do it. Yes, mom, I'll do it. Yes, this, yes, that. But then at the end, we really don't mean it. We really don't mean it because we know in our head is like, I can get this thing done, but I'm just going to say yes first. But then that also result in integrity issue, that also result in disappointment. And it's better to just say no at the very beginning than say yes. And then later on, you can't sleep, you stress about how to say no after. I have learned this so good, but again, it's a build, break, build, right? So it's like, mom, I would love to do this for you, but I can't at this moment. But maybe in the near future, I could, or maybe you can get somebody else to do it for you. But I still love you, right? Same thing with your client. Hey, I really would love to do this. However, I'm really new at everything that you asked me to do right now, right? Can I put it in a to-dos, or can we delegate to somebody, or can we hire another VAs to help you do this thing? Because I want you to be successful, right? And again, right? Do have the integrity, do be honest with them and tell them exactly how you feel. But the number one thing that I would say, that we really wanted to hack here, right, is to tell the truth. No white lies, right? Once in a while, right? If the food is not so good or a little bit too salty, maybe you can say, yeah, it was really good. I just need to sip a couple more cup of water so that it'll be good, right? But again, do have integrity to practice about it. It really helped me a lot because nowadays I don't, in the past, it was so hard for me to say no. So I have a lot of baggages with myself. But now I just like, man, I would love to do this. I would love to hang out with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. That sounds so good, right? I really, 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 really want to do it. However, I have this, that, whatever, that I couldn't do it. And I was just like, oof, done. I'm good. I don't have to think about it. I already say no, right? I'm not just really disappointing them, but, at least I'm honoring myself or what I want. Right. And number 5, right? Just like what I said, talk about, do have movement breaks, right? Suggest you to take short break, physical activity to enhance overall well-being and productivity. Trust me, losing weight is tough, right? But sitting there for 8 hours is easy, right? So again, make sure that you do some exercise, right? Because Trust me, I just saw my weight log, I gained like 20 pounds within I think 2 years time. Yeah, 2 years time I gained 20 pounds. Didn't know that, right? Because again, Zoom only show you the top up, right? Not top down, right? It's easy to sit down and just get work done. I'm busy, I'm really busy. But again, this year, one of my goals is health goal, right? So again, what are you going to do to remove all these excessive fat that you have? Because as a VA, it's easy to say, hey, I might have my headset on, right? I have this, I have that, or whatever. So you're not exercising. And at the end, you're going to have to make double the effort to lose the weight instead of maintaining or slightly losing the weight. Number 6, do maintain confidentiality and respect client privacy. Underscore the importance of respecting client's confidentiality and privacy. Again, just like what I always talk about, treat other people how you want to be treated, right? Would you want someone to tell other people about you, about something that you would not like to share with other people? For example, I think a very simple one is weight, right? Like right now I'm gaining a lot of weight. I don't want people to know my weight. Am I right? I mean, imagine, right? Somehow your client, let somebody know about your weight, right? Because you think this is privacy, right? I trust this person. And then next thing you know is they post it on Facebook or they share with somebody else and then somebody else come back to you. How do you feel? Right? The man is like, I don't really care, right? But for the women, it's like, oh my God, this is really bad, right? Same thing, right? The clients trust you, right, for their privacy, right, for all the stuff that they have. Please, under no circumstances, you should share that with anyone else. Again, this is just, how you want to be treated, right? Because again, I do really believe in karma, right? If you do that to somebody, somebody else will do that to you. And again, what is the point of sharing their confidentiality anyway, right? Because it's their stuff, honor them. The reason why, I love Monique so much, right? Or, I mean, the truth is, even Angeli here that is working with me as a tutor, she knows a lot about, a lot of things about my home because she just turned on the camera and she can hear everything about the house, everything that's going on in my house, my conversation with my husband, my kids' conversation, the thoughts. If she have a big mouth and just tell everybody about my thing, do you think she's gonna last, right? Will those conversations come back to me? Absolutely, right? Ultimately, would you want somebody, a nanny like that? No, right? So again, treat other people how you want to be treated. Make sure you just really maintain the confidentiality, especially you never know, if it's a trade secret, maybe somebody will sue you for it, right? So again, take care of yourself, by doing all the do's, right? And again, number 7, be proactive. Okay, be proactive. Encourage taking initiative, anticipate needs or challenges ahead of time. I can tell you enough that I think 99% of the clients that we're looking for are looking for somebody who are proactive. It's almost as like that is a built-in characteristic. If you have a cleaner, you have a nanny, if maybe you have a sister or even your mom, right? Would you want them to be more proactive, right? What is proactive to you? I mean, as simple as, hey, like I would love my kids to be proactive too, right? As simple as after you finish using the bathroom, right? Flush the toilet, right? Ensure that there's no overdues in the toilet, right? I don't want to see them, right? I love you, but I don't want to see them, right? When you finish the toilet papers, put a new roll into it, right? Taking initiative of that, right? So same thing with you when you're working in the office, right? Take initiative. I'm sorry, be proactive, right? Well, boss, I noticed that, you have a lot of things going on your calendars. How can I help you with that, right? Hey, boss, I noticed that you have a lot of emails going on. How can I help you, right? Boss, I noticed every Monday you're always running behind. What can I do to help you with that, right? You observe, right, what is going on and always ask yourself, what can I do more for them? Or even what can I do for them, right? Or, what can I do for them that I have not done yet that I can suggest to them, right? Or even just be proactive and say, boss, anything else that I can do for you, whether it's business, personal, right? Or boss, hey, by the way, I don't know or not, even though I'm your EA, but I really know how to play with the kids. I noticed that every time you're on the call, right, your kids is bugging you. Would it be okay if I play with them, on Minecraft, right? Would it be okay if I play with them on Roblox so that they are being entertained while you're on the phone, right? Hey, boss, I noticed that you actually have a pool. Would you like me to schedule a pool cleaner for you every month? So in that way we can take one thing away from you, right? Also listen to what the client also said, right? Oh man, I forgot to do this today. Oh, shoot, right? Oh man, I forgot to do that. Immediately take a mental note, right? And then be proactive on those stuff, right? hey boss, I noticed that, when you have a lot of things going on, this is what's going on, what can I do for you? Am I right? And then number 8, take initiative. Again, I think it's very close, proactive and taking initiative, right? Similar to being proactive, emphasize the importance of self-start, right? And not waiting for directive. So sometimes we don't really take initiative, and that's, when we work with people in the US, we're like, oh, what is taking initiative? I'm just sitting here and waiting for you to give me a task. Almost it's like, I'm sorry, I'm doing this. I'm feeling like a puppy, right? Hey, puppy, come. They come, right? Throwing the bone to them, then they will, go fetch, right? But they don't do anything extra per se, right? But again, I want you to, really figure it out, take initiative, right? Don't wait for directive. Hey, boss, again, I just started to clean up your calendars because I noticed, there's some, stuff that you really don't do anymore. Would it be okay if I just clean them off, right? Think about how can you self-start. Again, if you do not want to be micromanaged, right? If you do not want to be micromanaged, well, take initiative, right? Be proactive, because the more initiative you take, the more proactive you are. We don't have to micromanage you anymore. The reason why we're micromanaging you is because we notice that you're not taking initiative. You're not filling your book, right? You're not filling your 8 hour of your shift. You're not getting your task done. And that's, we need to micromanage you just to know what are we missing. Okay. Number 9, anticipate. Advise being one step ahead in planning and preparation. I would say make sure that you use ChatGPT, right? Hey, right now, whenever you have time, right now I'm working on this. What else can I anticipate that, things can go well, things can go wrong, right? Is there anything more that I could do, right? So that you can anticipate the challenges or the questions. Let's say for Grace, right? She managed my schedule, right? She will anticipate sometime I will forget about my appointments. So she will put on my messenger and say, boss, you have a call in 5 minutes. Sometimes she'll put pictures on there. She will have exclamation mark on there because she knows I will be busy and I will forget about them, right? Sometimes what she will also do, she will hop onto the Zoom call, right? Wait until I show up, right? Then she will either go off or she will stay, right? Depending on what my direction is, right? And she will let me know, hey, and she will be there with my clients, set up the appointments, have a conversation. So in that way, they're not there just sitting there, right? They're not feeling bad that I was late, right? But she can anticipate. She noticed, when am I can do certain things? When am I over, committed, right? So she will, really anticipate how to do it. And that's right now, she's really managing my calendars really well, right? But again, she's learning, asking questions, right? She's being proactive on asking questions. She's taking initiative to learn what my habit is, right? And then she also anticipate, what could go wrong or go right, if we're doing certain things, right? For example, like Zoom, right? When you're scheduling a Zoom call, you also have to anticipate that maybe the client need a passcode, right, to get into the call. So you want to provide them the passcode initially, right? You can also anticipate that, man, maybe the client is gonna forget about that appointment. So you wanted to make sure that you give the client a call, right? And say, hey, reminder, there's a call for you with my boss, right now. Can you hop on, right? And last but not least is do follow up, right? Stresses the importance of staying on top of task, ensuring the completion and clarification. We actually have a pulsing meeting yesterday. One of the biggest things that, Monique brought it up again, right, within us, that again, we need to remind you over and over again, is to follow up, right? If we give you a task, you can get it done, right? You need to follow up with questions, right? If we give you a task, we are, what me and the client is doing for you is we pass it on to you, right? The ball is in your hand, right? Just like what I told you on our very first call. So you're holding the ball. So you need to follow up with them and say, hey, I'm done. Or no, I'm not done. I need more stuff from you. But the goal is you need to follow it up until the task is done. If the task is not done, then again, follow up, follow up, follow up. How much can you follow up? Somebody asked me this questions. Well, I haven't seen anybody break the record of 35 yet, right? Mary, who was my accountant before, she reminded me 35 times before I make myself to the bank to open a bank account, because opening a bank account to me is very painful. And so she reminded me 35 times, putting it into my schedule for at least 5 times, block me off, right? So I can do anything else. before I do it. She makes sure that it was actually painful for me when I was getting it done. If you want to be an amazing, especially EA, right? If you're an executive assistant, right? An operation manager, right? A project manager, right? Even if you're doing sales, right? I don't really know what position you're in that shouldn't involve in follow-up. But if you do not follow up, that's where the money is at. Okay. The money is in the follow-up. The next thing is the don't, right? The don't is, again, don't repeat the same mistake twice in a row. I actually have a 3-time rules. The first time you did it, think about it, right? How can I get better? What did I do? What did I really did wrong on this? Okay, really think it through, right? Make sure that it doesn't happen again twice. But usually I give them 3 chances, right? So if third time you still fail, then chances is you really don't care. Okay, because first time is a mistake, right? Second time you learn from it. I mean, if you really happen it, and third time you really need to ask yourself why, why that, right? Second thing, don't delay the task if you can do it today. Encourage prompt action and avoiding procrastination, especially if you are an EA, that is the #1 rule, right? If you cleaned out, like the client's email box, it's almost as like the dirty laundry, right? Clean it up today, right? As long as, like, for us, we have a washer, as long as it's full, I wash it immediately, I fold it up immediately. If not, after a week, everything is too full, you won't be able to do all those work, right? So again, first in, first out. When you come in, if you have the time, do it. We actually have a 2 minutes rule. If you can get it done within 2 minutes, get it done right now. Okay, if you can get it done within 2 minutes, you get it done right now. So that way you don't feel that there's too much stuff stacking on it, right? Number 3, don't be overconfident. Warn against overestimating one's abilities and underestimating the challenges. I really do love this one. I think that overconfidence, sometimes I also see it as a thing where you do not actually have student mentality. Okay, you do not have student mentality. So it's like, hey, I would like to teach you more of this, right? You're like, oh, boss, I got it. I used to be a social media manager. I got this thing. You don't have to tell me more, right? But remember, the reason why the clients wanted to tell you, even if you have already heard it before, is because there's certain things that they will feel better if they tell you, so that you are going to do it in her way. To a certain extent, I wanted to tell you this, whether you like it or not, right? You guys are technically a clone for us at the very beginning. You're cloning everything that we wanted done. Okay. I know she do everything that I asked her to do. I know that she anticipates things almost the same as me, right? Even though we've been together for 11 years, she never feel overconfident. She never not ask me certain questions. She never say, oh, man, I already know this, right? I don't have to ask her anymore. If she have a doubt, if there's a but right there, right? Well, boss, I got this, but, she immediately will ask me that question. She's never overconfident, and I feel good. Again, in this personality profile, I'm a C personality, right? By trade. So I love when people ask me questions so that I know that he or she is doing the exact thing that I asked them to do. Okay. The #1 big no-no, yesterday we also talked to our coach, is communication. I want you to know, we are visionary. We have a lot of thoughts and ideas going all over the place. We will over communicate with you on what we want. But in return, we also want you to over communicate with us, letting us know what is really going on, right? Because if you don't communicate with us, ultimately, we really feel like you are not working. Okay, ultimately, we really feel like you're not working. So you need to communicate with us on what you're doing. Again, obviously, we don't expect a long paragraph, right? Just bullet points here and there so that we can kind of know what is really going on. And I promise you, the more that you communicate with us, the less micromanaging you really feel, right? Because ultimately, you're communicating with us, right? Number 4, don't hesitate to ask questions. Encourage seeking clarity, understanding when in doubt. I would say this is a huge one. As Filipino, me, when I was, growing up in Asia, I don't really like to ask questions, because asking questions means that I am weak. Okay, asking questions means that I'm weak, right? I am not, smart. I'm also worried that I will be asking stupid questions. Sometimes I still have that challenge, I have to tell you. But again, because right now we have ChatGPT, right? We have Gemini, we have, Claudette, right? Ask them, hey, what other question can I ask? I'm running out of questions to ask them. What other question can I ask them so that I can do better with my job? Right, boss? What is this, right? Again, we have a training called the Irene MD, right? The Irene MD is really teaching you on, what are the questions that you need to ask them about, right? So ask them, right? What is the information, right? What resources, do I have, right? How does the customer feel at that moment, the client feel at that moment when they give you this thing, right? What do they need from it, right? Irene, right? And what do they need from it, right? So, you wanted to ask them all these questions. If you're not really asking them these questions, sometimes it's just really challenging, because then you will miss the work. You literally will miss the work of what you are supposed to do. You're going to be making an ass out of you and me, because you're just assuming that that's what I want, right? This is what I like. Am I right? It might not be stupid, because trust your gut, trust yourself. If your gut is like, oh, I really need to ask those questions, ask that question. Hey, you might have already, again, type it this down below, like, hey, boss, I think you might have already tell me the answer, but I just would love to clarify and verify, right? I just love to clarify and verify. Clarify and verify is such a beautiful music, right? So that it's like, oh yeah, feel free to clarify and verify, right? I want you to ask me these questions. Number 5, don't neglect professional development, right? It stresses the importance of continuous learning and growth in one careers, right? I know that a lot of you guys, after the 30 days training, you're going to be like, oh, I'm so busy, right? I cannot come back to this thing. I want you to really embrace this thing called I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And something our coaches also say, they have to say at least 7 times, okay? 7 times before you really get that into your system, get that into your body. What's that mean? That means that you actually should go through my 30-day training 7 times before you really get to understand and live what I'm really telling you. 7 times. 7 times. So what does that mean? You should constantly come back to here, re-listen to what it is, because a lot of times you might think that, oh, I got it already. I hear that before, right? Information it's amazing, but implementation is powerful. You might hear it over and over again, but are you implementing it? If you don't, come back in, right? Listen to us. I don't expect you to go study anything else, right? YouTube, this, that, whatever. I just expect the one thing that you do is come back here every Wednesday to listen to what we got for you, right? And at the same time, you're getting to know other people around here. Why would I give you guys this do and don'ts? Why would I give you some of these training that we're giving you? Because we realize, right, based on observation, these are some of the common things that you guys have run into, some of the challenge that you have. So instead of addressing it one at a time, we're addressing it to all of you guys at the same time. Okay, we're prepping you from making the mistake. We're being proactive, right? We're taking the initiative to let you know what are the things that you need to be aware of, because so that you don't fall. Am I right? So that you don't fall, right? Like my kids just decided to go study, to go play rollerblading, right? I anticipate that they're gonna fall, right? So what I anticipate is I'm gonna get them to wear long pants, right? We're also giving them the protector thing so they can hold it and play around with it, right? Why is that? Because I can anticipate. But again, how can you anticipate when you don't know what you don't know, right? How can you anticipate you don't know what you don't know? Am I right? Like the kids does not know that the stove is hot. Am I right? So if you bring any infant, if you bring any toddler, if you put their hand to the stove or the hot pot, they will put their hand on there until they know that it is hot. Then they will stop doing it. Why? Because now they know. Now they know that it is hot. There's no way that you can anticipate, and there's no way that you can get yourself better if you don't know what you don't. Again, I want to be very open and honest with you, right? About 5 years ago, it's been a long time now. We lost $5 million. Why? Because we don't know what we don't know. We thought we know everything, right? So we don't have to learn, right? We know everything, right? We don't have to learn, we stopped learning, right? And then at the end, we failed to anticipate one movement, just one thing we failed to anticipate, we lost the whole thing. Just one thing. I'm just sharing with you the magnitude of I don't know what I don't know. So what am I doing right now? You can ask Grace, you can ask the team. I invest a lot of money into education. Yesterday, that class, that meeting that we have with one of our coaches cost me $8,000. right? It cost me $8,000 into it. Why? Because I'm so afraid that if I don't spend this 8,000, I might be losing 80,000 because of I don't know what I don't know. But the most amazing thing is this Wednesday call, it's free for you to attend. From me that spent hundreds and thousands of dollars to learn, and you're getting it for free, right? To me, it doesn't make sense that you don't come in to learn, because I'm digesting it, filtering it, so that I give you the cream of the crop. There's a lot of YouTube videos that you can learn, right? If you're a social media person, if you're learning AI, right? You're an EA, right? Again, there's just so much thing out there that you can learn, right? So again, appreciate personal development, right? Professional development, and also acknowledge that you really don't know a lot. You really do not know a lot. The only people that are successful or that are smart is the one that know that they don't know a lot, and they're willing to go learn. If you're like, man, I got this, boss, like I got this. If you start saying that and you have this overconfident, most likely I know that you are not doing that well. You will not be able to do that well because you do not have student mentality. Number 6, don't overpromise and underdeliver. This has something to do with integrity. This has something to do with, not telling the white lies. This has something to do, again, just like what I said just now, right? I only said it a few times. I need to see a few more times. Is if you know that you cannot do it, then say no, right? If you're a video editor, you're brand new with this client, right? You know that video editing for you usually take 4 hours. I would say quote your client the very first time, maybe 8 hours, maybe 6 hours, right? So that if you do run behind, right, your client is not going to flip out on you. This is especially asterisk for the man. All my men here, love you all. You are very handsome, but you tend to overpromise to your girlfriend, to your wife, and to your clients. Of course, I can get this done, right? Of course, I can get this done. I don't have to give anything. I am a man. I'm confident, right? Please do give some leeway for yourself. Don't hit yourself, don't block yourself away from how amazing, even more than what you already have. Why do I say that? My husband, right? I can get it done in 3 hours. 3 hours later, babe, is it done yet? Oh, no, sorry, I ran out of time. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Well, you just told me you can get it done in 3 hours. I know. And sometimes, my husband always say amazing things to me too. Man, babe, we're gonna redo our wedding photo every year, right? And I was like, yeah, there's this word like, I don't think that's possible, right? It's a B to the S, right? Because, we need to travel, this, that, whatever. We have kids, this, that, whatever. Maybe once every 3 months, 3 years, maybe, right? And how many years from that day? 5 years now? We haven't do the second one yet, right? But again, it was so beautiful. It's, flower and roses and all these, shiny objects, right? Fireworks, right? But it didn't happen, right? So again, question is, does he not have integrity? Sometimes I feel like maybe he doesn't have integrity. Am I right? But the real deal is they just want to make you feel happy at that moment. So what I want you to do is reevaluate that. I even tell my husband, I said, well, right now I kind of take it on as like a 25%, right? Because I know you want to make me feel happy, right? I know this is you, right? But, for me, very important thing is keep your promises. Again, if you have a client, right? Again, if your clients like me, like tell you to do a million things, right? Just, again, boss, I know you give me a million things. I can only do this 10 thing. I'm going to promise you I'm going to do this 10 thing really well, right? The rest of them, we're going to put it on wish list and we'll accomplish them as soon as we have more time. Okay. So again, the key is don't overpromise, underdeliver. And if you know that you can, just tell us that you cannot. Okay. Number 7, please don't procrastinate. Similar prompt action, right? You emphasize the importance of timely task completion. I'm gonna tell you, speaking, I'm preaching to the choir. I also like to procrastinate, and that's a higher grace to help me with procrastination. So if you need an assistant to help you, stop procrastinating, you could, right? Or get accountability partner, right? Or put it in Asana, right? Or, one thing that I prevent myself from procrastinating is if I have an appointment at 11, I actually will put an alarm at 10:30. Okay. If I have an appointment at 11, I'll put myself an alarm at 10:30. So I will assume that my call is already at 10:30. So by the time I'll turn on my computer, then I'll go to the bathroom, get a water, check out my kids, right? So then by 11 come, I'm already here, right? So get to know yourself. What is your strength? What is your weakness? How do you procrastinate? Why are you even procrastinating? A lot of time, what people also said is procrastinating means, okay, procrastinating means that you don't have enough information or you do not have enough confidence to do the work. Okay, so again, what do? Talk it out, discuss it with your client, right? So that you can make it so easy that you can actually move immediately. And number 8, don't share sensitive information without permission, right? Highlight the importance of respecting confidentiality, privacy, and boundaries. As you can see, this is almost a double, right? Do, do, and then now it's a don't, right? Again, it's very, 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 very important that you do, you don't share sensitive information without permission, because you don't know whether there's going to be a lawsuit coming to you. I know you do not have the money to pay off, right? Again, it's just a basic respect, right? Because we do trust you, right? And that's, we want you to serve us the same, right? So if you don't know, ask, right? Boss, can I share this thing? Can I share this post? Can I share, this, top 10, right? Can I do whatever? So again, just so you know, right, do for this, right? Make sure that you do share this with other VAs in the community, right? With other VAs that's looking for a new VA job, right? Posting on your thing, so that way they can understand and learn more, so that they can also be a successful VA, whether they're in our community or not. Okay. Last but not least, the number 9 is don't assume, right? Against making any decisions or taking action based on assumption without verifying the facts. Again, asking questions, right? Have some, again, just don't ever assume, because your clients is different than you. They are in United States. We are in Asia. Okay, they're in United States. We're in Asia. Just by that itself, it's a huge 1,000 difference between you and them. So you don't assume, about food, right? You don't assume about anything. Even like for me, when I go to Philippines and I know I saw you guys, I met with you guys, right? Even the rice, I could assume that you guys eat the same amount, right? You guys are eating whatever, right? You guys are, having the same habit as I do. But again, your rice is totally tastes different than us. And whenever you guys eat, you have a big pot of rice and a little bit of food, a little bit of like veggie and whatever, right? Dishes. But for us in our Asian culture, in my country, we actually have a lot of dishes, very minimal rice. You get what I'm saying? But again, we are both Asian. We both eat rice. How come it could be that different? Am I right? So again, you wanted to ask, especially if you're new here, right? This is your 7 day, your 14 days, your first month, right? Ask question. Hey, boss, one thing that fellas teach me is don't assume. I really need to know. Okay, you want me to buy coffee? Is it black? Does it require sugar? Right? In United States also, we're going to be talking about common sense a little bit here, right? In United States, there's 3 kinds of sugars, 4 kinds actually, or maybe 5 kinds. There's a lot of kind of sugars. There is white sugar. There's sugar cane sugar, so healthier sugar. There's raw sugar. There's stevia sugar. There's Splenda sugar. At least there's 5 kinds of sugar. When you are going to Starbucks, there's at least 5 kinds of sugar at Starbucks. So you can just say, oh, you want sugar? Well, I actually have to ask, what kind of sugar would you like for your coffee? Right? And then again, if you go to Starbucks, is it regular milk? Right? Like what Tony Robbins always said, do you want for, Starbucks here, right? Do you want regular milk? You want reduced fat milk? You want half and half, right? Full milk, reduced milk, half and half. Do you want actually almond milk, soya milk, oat milk? There's like 6 kinds of milk too. So you can't just say, okay, boss, you want a coffee? Let me just buy you a coffee. You get what I'm saying? It's different. Like, oh my God, like it's so different. Even coffee. Boss, what kind of coffee would you like? Standard roast or dark roast? So even Starbucks itself, there's like thousands of combinations if you want to add all that together. Am I right? Just by buying a cup of coffee at Starbucks. Am I right? So again, don't assume, right? Hey, boss, I just would love to buy you this amazing cup of coffee. Tell me, what kind of coffee would you like? Okay. I know it sounds kind of weird, right? It's crazy, right? But I just want to share with you, like, that is really what the deal is. And last but not least, again, don't slack off, right? Don't slack off. Encourage consistent effort and diligence in professional responsibility. Because again, if you slack off, your client's also gonna slack off. It's a momentum, it's a mirror, right? If you work harder, your client's gonna work harder. If you less communicate with them, they will less communicate with you, right? Again, you wanted to make sure that you build that momentum. You build that momentum, not the client build the momentum with you. I know a lot of time we think that it's common sense, right? I mean, they are the boss. I should listen to them, right? I should wait for them to give me tasks. No, this is your life too, right? This is your job. This is your money. So take initiative. If you want this kind of rhythm, create those kind of rhythm, right? Hey, boss, love you to, yeah, keep the momentum, right? Just like playing volleyball, right? Keep the adrenaline, right? Like if you want your clients to be happy, don't slack off his humor, right? Give them some jokes, right? Give them some emojis or something like that, right? But you can control what you want. You are totally in charge of what you want this relationship to be like. If you want them to fire you, oh my God, it's so easy to get you fired. Just slack off. Again, they are busy, but they're not stupid. Okay. They have a lot of gut feelings, right? And you would know literally like the momentum, right? At the very beginning, right? If it's like this, and then all of a sudden it slow down, what you want to do is you wanted to get the momentum back up. Because if it's slow down and you're getting less and less tasks, actually the truth is they're having some issues with you. They just don't know how to tell you. And if you don't get it fixed, eventually they're just going to say, yeah, this is not working out. I don't have enough work for them to do. I don't know what they can do anymore because they already lost the momentum from you. It is your job to keep the momentum up. Okay. It is your job to continuously have a lot of to-dos. It's all towards the next. It's your job to make sure that you have a list of healthy or overwhelming to-dos, because the more to-dos you have, the longer you're going to stay with the company. If you notice that your to-do is getting shorter and shorter, right? There's going to be less and less thing that you're going to do. Just be aware, the client most likely is thinking about replacing you. If there's less and less feedback to you, right? That means that, again, the client is most likely, think that this is not working out, and that they stop investing time into you too. So this week, again, one commitment from you is to make sure that you do the one do and the one don't, right? Let your client know, hey, this week we have learned a ton of do and don'ts, and I'm committing myself to do this one do and this one don't, right? Share with your members of your team, right? This is the one do and one don't that I do. If you notice that I didn't do